guys. I'll be back.
Elderly man beaten and kicked repeatedly outside of a Baltimore 7-Eleven is now sparking outrage online. This is just one of several recent cases of juveniles committing violence.
And now we are asking state leaders what they're doing to ensure this stops. Fox 45's Mackenzie Frost in studio with our questions for lawmakers. Mackenzie.
Mary and Kai, the video is reaching all corners of the internet. It's a disturbing scene as a group of 6 young people seen beating and at times kicking the 74-year-old man outside that Baltimore 7-Eleven. We're asking leadership in Annapolis, how can they implement policies to curb this behavior? And is the Department of Juvenile Services doing enough? Surveillance video capturing a dramatic and disturbing attack. Outside a 7-Eleven around 3:45 in the morning, a group of 6 young people armed with a sword and what appears to be an assault-style weapon beat up a 74-year-old man, even taking turns kicking him on the ground. The video catching fire online, being viewed more than 1 million times on one post alone. Fox 45 News viewers commenting and asking where some of the leaders in Maryland are about this issue. Friday, Governor Wes Moore swore in members of the Maryland National Guard for a special America 250 ceremony. We plan to ask him about the video and what he says about the ongoing juvenile crime concerns. The governor's staff told Fox 45 News he didn't have time for questions due to his schedule. So we followed up with his team, asking his reaction to the video and should the General Assembly address juvenile crime issues during the upcoming special session? Do you believe the Department of Juvenile Services is adequately addressing these ongoing problems surrounding repeated juvenile crime? Along with the video of other incidents of juvenile crime, we also sent the 7-Eleven video to House Speaker Jocelyn Peña-Melnick and Senate President Bill Ferguson, asking, what's your reaction to the videos? Will you address these issues during the upcoming special session? And
no, they've emboldened these juvenile delinquents.
Get these problems under control. What's your message to them?
I'll shoot one of them little fucking monkeys.
In the early morning hours, some people are asking, what about the youth curfew in Baltimore City? When Fox 45 News asked the Baltimore Police Department about enforcement of the curfew, the agency directed us to the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Safety and Engagement, or MONSE. But MONSE says they have no legal authority to enforce the curfew.
Well, that's exactly it. What is the point?
Betsy Smith with the National Police Association says if there's no enforcement, it could send the wrong message to young people.
It's emboldening them. They know there's no consequences.
I think a curfew is a great idea.
Oh, so what's up, everyone who just joined in the live?
In a statement,
you can say hi to me, just ask me anything. So, have at it.
Our outreach staff work alongside partners.
I'm Just A Contrarian, so what's up?
Go home and or redirect
I will be watching and reacting to stuff I'm watching on YouTube while waiting for, questions or comments.
Detectives are actively following up on tips, and the case continues to be open and extremely active. Now, House Speaker Jocelyn Peña-Melnick says the videos are deeply disturbing. In a statement,
I wish I could carry frag grenades on me. I would just throw a frag grenade at a group of them and just let it go.
Fear being assaulted or harassed while simply going about their day, adding, I have faith in Baltimore City officials to address.
That's exactly what Jason Hansen talks about all the time.
Necessary steps to protect public safety. The speaker does not say exactly what those steps are, but says everyone must work to ensure the justice system protects the public. Now, the speaker did not answer the question about addressing juvenile crime during the upcoming special session, and I did not hear back from the Senate President or the governor's office.
Of course you did.
Live in the studio, Mackenzie Frost, Fox 45 News.
Mackenzie can get it.
I'm Mary Gubala. Thank you for watching. Here's
Not
another
gonna
video
lie.
for you to watch. Also, take some time
Not
to
going
subscribe
to
to our YouTube
lie.
channel.
Turn on the big sound, love it, love it. All they got them, love it, love it. All in on them, love it, love it. All they got them, love it, love it.
This is Target. So, black folks, are we still supposed to be boycotting Target? I don't know. I know J.A.C. Whatever. I was never boycotting them.
Find the right thing so you can do your thing.
They're just not local to me, so I rarely ever go.
If you watch Weird History Food regularly, then you know that sometimes fast food chains stumble, and sometimes they even die. That being said, not everyone you think is dead really is. Which is why today we're looking at some fast food places you thought were dead.
Herborotic.com. We can watch a different trailer, one that seems to have a lot more better reception.
See.
Yeah, this one's good.
Yes!
Acting's what I live and breathe for. And I gotta have faith in myself.
You need to show everyone who you are.
I like this girl, Sylvester.
Sylvester?
That's right, his real name.
You're attacking men from both angles. It's real bad. Welcome to another episode of Ask a Brother Podcast. I'm your host.
It was the product of an incredible director with an awe-inspiring portfolio, an unbelievable cast and crew with a tremendous budget on a network that gave them full creative control. It was astonishing. It was spectacular. It was one of the biggest flops in television history. Hi, I'm Dan Larson. This is the history of...
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Congress struck another shady backroom deal. This time, they want to bring over 3,000 Chinese driverless vehicles to America, all to benefit Waymo. China's
Wait, people can't comment, right? I mean, sure, people can comment.
military bases and
Check.
critical infrastructure, and the Chinese Communist Party will have it all. It's a grave threat to our national security. It's time to block this backroom deal and protect our country. Tell Congress to keep Chinese driverless vehicles out of America.
Put your best foot forward and dazzle the internet.
What finish line? What bell? What buzzer?
Took a job at socialism this week in a Facebook post.
He wrote on Facebook, socialism dangerously concentrates political and economic power together. Government should be an independent check on the private sector, not the owner of it and not controlled by it. And people are rightfully jaded that our country has not been able to deliver on basic things like universal health care, which every other wealthy capitalist country has. But fascism and socialism aren't the answer. Canada, Europe, Japan all have free universal health care, and none of them are socialist or fascist. We can do it here too.
So I genuinely am finding the Democratic debates internally pretty fascinating, because you do have a harder left that's clearly on the rise. There's a lot of energy behind it, is ascendant within the party, and a lot of people pushing back against that from a more centrist position. Now, Jared Polis is, I think, not personally terribly well placed to defend himself against the left on account of being literally one of the wealthiest people in Colorado. I've seen estimates of his personal wealth anywhere between $120 million to $400 million. So inevitably, if you're that rich, there are going to be questions
That's the
of whether
comments. Let me
you're looking
make sure
after
that
your own economic interest and all the rest of it.
I think the comment section is on.
Though, is that he does actually,
So why is this buffering so long?
support universal
Pause.
health care, and that Facebook post that we read would imply that. The criticism he's getting from the left, I think, is that he's being disingenuous about that, and he is claiming to believe in it while always erecting barriers to its actual enactment and protecting the insurance industry. But we're at a time when, on the left, one poll suggesting something like 66% of Democratic voters have a positive view of socialism. There's other polls suggesting that the American people writ large, particularly younger people, are more receptive to that idea than they have been historically. I'm not sure if this is socialism or not. We're having the windows cleaned while we're on air here, so it could be an interesting
Fantastic.
moment. But anyway, you take it from there. That
Yes,
is
that's a
completely
great segue.
thwarted my train of thought.
Well, I think there are a couple of things to be concerned, what to look at here. One, I think that this is a general election messaging push for him to look at 28, to say, no, not socialism, no, not fascism. We can do all of these things without having to take away everybody's kind of freedoms and liberties. I think that that is a good argument for a Democrat to make early, but it's tough because that's the base right now. And it's been a base a decade in the making. This was not a quick fix, AOC kind of lit a match. This is, we can go back to Bernie Sanders and super delegates and his inability to win because of the DNC machine stopping him. When you look at it now, but socialism and fascism is on the rise, and it is not the boogeyman it was during the Cold War. Socialism and fascism and communism during the Cold War were definitely scary. And I think that kind of messaging still works maybe with like a Florida demographic where you have a lot of exiles, you have a lot of Venezuelans and a lot of Cuban communities down there who have left and fled communism and socialism. So that message, when it comes to being anti that, works. But generally, Americans aren't as scared of it as they used to be.
Yeah, and there's also the question of, not to sound like a history professor, but the definition of terms here, right? Because some people use socialism, by which they mean hardline communism, and some people use socialism meaning a fairly vigorous, what would in Europe be described as social democrat beliefs, including universal healthcare. I mean, this is something that I still grapple with, despite having lived here for more than 20
Okay,
years.
so people, I'm sorry, guys. So some of you were leaving comments and I can't see them. Let me.
Way before I was born, by a guy,
My apologies.
An Iron the son of Paul
It's not showing up on my screen.
Proudly a socialist. That setting up of the National Health Service.
But I think YouTube is having some issues with that right now. So I'm looking at it on my computer screen.
Contingent upon one's ability to pay. And Aaron Bevan is revered in Britain still. Welsh and regularly wins greatest Welshman ever kind of polls. Now,
What's up, Liam Fields?
They typically
the SP X7P.
Right? So I think that
What's
there
up?
is an inexactitude when it comes to these discussions.
And when you talk to the American
Ash.
people in polling and you talk about universal health care, yeah, that polls well, but when you ask them
Ash
follow-up
BN,
questions, but you'll
C
lose your
Neil,
health
531. What's
insurance,
up?
and they put on something else, they don't like it.
Sorry,
People do like to be
it's
able to
not showing
see
up on my screen,
what
so I
kind
have to
of
look
care
at it
they
on my
receive if
computer.
they're
My
giving the
computer is
option, right?
like
Some employers, you just,
away
this is
from
what
me.
we have, that's
What's up,
fine.
Keyshawn?
But people they like the word Obamacare, but they may not like the word, their health insurance particularly, right? They get a little bit more defensive about certain parts of their health care. So also, to your point about Jared Polis being this incredibly wealthy individual, the idea of universal health care, given the disparity that Democrats regularly speak of in wealth in this country, doesn't make sense. Should there be a conversation about potential universal health care for those who can't afford it? Yes, but if you're Jared Polis, there's no reason whatsoever the federal government or my tax money should be going to you for you to pay for your health care. You're completely able to do that on your own. And you could do it for millions of other people if you really wanted to, out of the kindness of your heart. I think there can be a nuance to that conversation as well, especially when you look at the polling about how the American people feel. They might like the idea of universal health care, but it means you're going to lose your health insurance. They don't like that.
So on the subject of like Jared Polis and wealthy people and all that, this actually gets into a longer debate than we perhaps have time for about means testing generally, because on first look, the argument that you make, which is basically we shouldn't be subsidizing very rich people to get stuff, of course makes sense. What one often finds, though, whenever there is means testing, is rich people have the resources to get around the bill and say, well, that's a private company, it's not my private wealth, it's not my personal income, I can still get this or whatever. So there is an argument, I think, for universality in a lot of things, as is happening in New York with the Democratic Socialist mayor about the provision of childcare, which is not for people under a certain income level. It's just like, we think this should happen.
And he's got a problem. But he's got a problem with
Yeah,
that
universal
already, because they
pre-K.
use the budgetary gimmick to only fund that universal health care or that universal pre-K program for 1 year. So he's going to offer all of these people, 2-year-olds free daycare, which, don't get me wrong, fantastic. People, it's very hard to struggle to afford, child care in this country. It's incredibly expensive. I'm not going to
Yeah, I was in
people who need
pre-K.
help being able to take care of their children. That is very difficult.
I don't know if it
But Zoran has not built a program for
I don't.
longevity. He has
Honestly,
not
pre-K
solved
doesn't really.
universal childcare
People act
needs.
like
He
pre-K
has
is
played
teaching
political
kids like
budget
math and
gimmicks
English and
to
shit.
shore it up for one
They are
year,
not
take it over.
doing
What happens
academic
next year
stuff in
for those same
pre-K.
families if he's unable to have the same
No.
gimmick work again? That's where the conversation is. Either it's got to be everything or it doesn't. And I think that right
Thinking
now,
their kids
Democrats
gonna be
have
left
big
behind if they're
problem
not in
with that
pre-K is
socialism
just
rise
bonkers
in
because
their
they don't.
party. And I
They're
think
not
one
learning
thing's never been a
academic stuff in
problem. And
pre-K.
I heard Ryan Priebus say this the other day of this middle
They're
finger
playing with
politics,
academic toys,
where it's like,
but they're not.
oh yeah, no, we're
But
gonna
it's
give
not
you
like
leaders
they're
because
doing
we can't say they're not
reading,
socialists. We should take this as the
arithmetic.
threat it is to the country and to the party and to elections and our ability to be the country that we
They're
are.
not
with the
doing reading,
Constitution we
writing,
have.
and
And if we don't
arithmetic
start
in pre-K
saying what it is, because I don't
with
like
for a
saying
bunch of
socialist.
3 and
You wanna
4
know why?
year olds.
Because that gives them an out. It makes a cute little acronym. You gotta call them socialists. You have to define it. That's the other part of the messaging here for Republicans. You have to create the conflict point. You can make that, but you gotta be talking about the other stuff too. We can be talking about healthcare. Let's talk about it. It's not easy to get healthcare in this country. Janice Dean just left Fox News because of her MS diagnosis, which has really progressed, and she's a wonderful woman, and I think the absolute world of her. Her cost for her MS medication, now that she's on her husband's health insurance, went from $1,200 a month to $100.
Yeah.
That is astronomically unbelievable to me, and we need to make sure that we are not preventing people from getting the care they need in this country. Hard stop. And I will say to your point, though, you said, we don't want to make sure, in your very first point about that, in this country, people can't get care because they can't pay. If you go into an emergency room in the United States, you will get care even if you cannot pay. And there is currently $20 million in this country of medical debt for just veterans.
Yeah.
And that is something that I think, if Jared Pauls wants to do a good thing, cut that check and clear that debt.
Well, yeah, I mean, there are an enormous number of people who suffer bankruptcy, personal bankruptcy, in part fueled by medical debt, which seems disgraceful to me. I mean, I think there should be universal health care. I've said that numerous times before.
How
we need to import Western European. Single payer health care. Up next, Marco Rubio and Stephen Miller blasted, quote, left-wing terrorism in a conference with representatives from dozens of countries. Stick around, we'll talk about that.
Your job depends on reliability. That's why Harbor Freight is committed to offering quality tools to pros like yourself at a fraction of the price. Stop.
Name?
I'm Mike. Acting's what I live and breathe for.
Is this all
I
CGI?
have faith in myself.
You need to show everyone who you are.
I like this girl, Sylvester.
Sylvester?
That's right, his real name.
It's got a nice ring to it. Sylvester Stallone. It's like Peter Parker.
Are you delusional? You don't got the looks to be a movie star. Not to mention, you talk like you got rocks in your mouth.
Yeah, I know I don't look like Einstein, but I got a brain. The only way for me to show people is I'm gonna have to write a script for myself.
Yeah, so do that. Write a script. And give yourself the best part. There's something big here.
You wrote this in 3.5 days. This is freaking good.
It's gonna talk about the fact that he did a porn so he.
Play rock.
I have no idea what that means. So the writer wants to
He
be
does look like a
as
young
the
Sylvester
reader.
Stallone. I'm not gonna lie.
Absolutely not.
I thought it was CGI at first. That's how the actor looks.
No. Raise the offer. Try 75. You're parking cars for Christ's sake, Sylvester.
No,
175.
go to 200.
No?
I'm not giving this up. Not for $1 million. Not for 10.
Riveling content.
Hey.
Nigga, you don't have to watch. Fuck
When
you.
you do this comes with some strengths. If you ever fall one day behind
You tell I enjoy your failure. I have a job in real life, bitch.
they're gonna kick you to the
No one gives a
curb,
fuck
poke
what
your
you
head,
think,
and there's
you
no
fucking
replacing a
incel.
real actor.
I don't even know what I'm doing. It's any good.
Either way, I'm still getting paid for this. You're not.
It'll be fine.
If you don't like it, suck my dick.
I'm not. This movie is about having a belief in yourself. It's about going the distance. I put my heart and soul on the
Oh,
page.
fucking white crook ass monkey.
If I'm not willing to live up to what I wrote, then what's the point? So do you believe in me? Or not?
Okay. Wait, what?
I'm an actor, goddammit. You always lie. Yeah.
Oh, this is actually in the theaters. Okay, I want to see this. Maybe.
Secretary of
Yeah.
State Marco Rubio
November?
and
Yeah, I mean, it's not like
Chief
riveting
of Staff
stuff is
Stephen
coming out in
Miller
November,
with
so
a
it
conference
might be all right.
Thursday on the dangers of political terrorism.
But as they spoke to representatives
But it's
from more than
November,
50
so they don't
different
have a lot of
countries,
confidence
the
in it.
focus
If it was
almost
December,
entirely
yeah.
on what Rubio called, quote, extremist violence from the political left.
I guess I'm gonna enjoy
Here's
your
some of
failure. I've been doing this for 4 years.
Even today, the very idea that far left
How about
terrorism
this?
could be a serious
Enjoy
threat
getting blocked
is
because you're a
treated as
loser
right-wing fever
in
dream,
real life,
or worse,
and you can't even
as a dangerous
conversate with
fascist
people in
conspiracy. This is a distinctive
online because
and
you're a
unique
fucking
way.
autistic
It has
faggot
always
ass,
been
low
driven by a hatred,
testosterone, Gen Z
above all
faggot
else,
ass twit.
a hatred for
Take
civilization
that.
itself. It is a revolt of the worst against the best.
And here was more.
In fever dream, or worse, as a dangerous fascist conspiracy.
Like how much of a loser you have to be to get mad just because someone didn't respond to you saying hi in a fucking live stream. Like if you are in any other live stream with a high level content creator, they're not going to even acknowledge you unless you drop a fucking super chat.
It's very important to understand that
Know this:
left-wing political
if you are
terrorism
in a content creator's live stream, usually with hundreds or thousands of people, or that person is a high level content creator, they wouldn't even acknowledge you unless you drop the super chat.
Left-wing terrorism always ends in bloodshed,
Moron.
misery, and suffering.
Rubio also mentioned how last fall the State Department designated 4 left-wing extremist groups
Like
as
men,
foreign terrorist
some of you men
and he
of
said
younger
those
age,
organizations
y'all really need to
are
take the tampons out your
So
ass.
I would suspect this is going to be the segment that we perhaps disagree on vigorously today. I mean, I am just entirely skeptical of Stephen Miller always because I think he's a very, very sinister character. Look, there is politically motivated violence on all sides. Stephen Miller is making the argument that left-wing violence, I think, is uniquely dangerous, or he talked in comments that we didn't play there about it being a danger to our republic. For 25 years or so, up until last
Like,
year,
imagine being that soft. You get mad at someone because they didn't say hi to you.
Higher than left-wing violence. Has Stephen Miller ever
Talking about riveting
said
content.
anything
I
about
hope.
that?
I wish you failure. Like,
Violence as a threat to our
I'm literally getting
republic?
paid as you're saying the dumb shit. Like,
the danger, in my view, is that he is using these
there's
arguments
ads running
to talk at other times
literally
about
during this live stream.
funding left-wing organizations
So I'm making
in a
money
way that
regardless
I
of
see
you,
as
you fucking
seeking
loser.
to delegitimize
And that goes for any other
political
loser.
opposition. And we've
Because
seen that from other
most
leading
YouTube commenters are
as well.
fucking losers. Like,
President
if you had
Trump
anything else
George
better to do,
Soros,
you'd be
who's
doing
jailed,
something else.
for example, for
Period.
unspecified purported crimes. So I am
I'm not gonna sugarcoat it at all.
All of this and the potential uses of it to neuter or mute or punish people who are actually simply politically disagreeing with people like Stephen Miller and Marco Rubio and Donald Trump.
So I'll start with our agreement point.
Okay.
What I don't want to see is this used as a weapon to attack those who have a different voice than Republicans. I don't believe in doing that on either side, and I never will. I think that the rise of left-wing political violence is something that needs to be talked about more in this country, though, because the riots you see on streets in this country, if it's go back to the George Floyd 2020 riots, those were not right-wing people going out there and causing that. Those were left-wing Antifa agitators. And we've seen those kind of violent riots and protests and, what do they call them? The zones where,
Liberated.
yeah, whatever they call them, right? The zones where all of a sudden they're not in the United States, which isn't true. That's not how that works. It's not just like new flag, new country. Not how that works. But we have seen that. And we've also seen it excused away and allowed to continue in some of these cities because they are run by Democrats. And that means businesses have had to close. That means people have lost their livelihoods. And that's something that absolutely, especially on Antifa, we should be investigating to the ilk and making sure that we do not have terrorist organizations in this country. And there should be further investigation because look at the accusations against the Southern Poverty Law Center right now. They're using using donor money without telling the donors to fund right-wing extremism so that they could get the outcome they wanted to then circumvent and say, look at what the Republicans and the right wing are doing, right? That is the accusations being placed against the money spent by the Southern Poverty Law Center. Yes, now that those have happened, we absolutely should do that. And we should do it on the right, too. I've got no problem if there are right-wing extremist groups and organizations in this country making sure we do not let extremism on either side grow. But I have also no problem calling out the left-wing extremism because we have seen it. Those riots in streets, those people looting stores, those people doing the smash and grabs, I don't think it's necessarily politically motivated all the time, but I don't think that it's a right-wing issue as much. And I think the political lens on it maybe was a little bit of the wrong one by them. I think if they just talked about, extremism in the country and wanting to get that, well, wouldn't we be having a different conversation? But I do think, again, to the point of Antifa and these terrorist organizations that are not organized but are, that we take care of them and we make sure that these people are not trying to destroy our nation. I think that's okay.
Well, trying to, I suppose, reach for where we do have some degree of common ground on this. I mean, you say that the political lens on the Miller-Rubio thing was perhaps not the best.
By them.
By them.
Yeah. Okay. I just want to share that.
No, and I agree with that because, look, my view on that, I guess, would be that the decision by them to put the political lens on actually is revealing of what their intent is, which is to
besides that, the reason why I'm not actively engaging in conversation is just because when I've gone out of my way to try to stimulate conversation, it couldn't be had. So now I don't want people coming in and talking about, why aren't you going to talk to us? Like, man, shut the fuck up. Like, when I was going out of my way producing like live streams with engaging like topics and stuff, no one gave a shit. So I was like, if they don't give a shit, I'm not going to give a shit. Like, fuck it. I'll just wait till I make like long form videos as opposed to like going out of my way for the live streams. Because like, what's the point? So to add to that loser Drucker from earlier, fuck, I'm gonna go out of my way to make engaging topics for no one to show up, just so on the day that I don't feel like being loquacious with the chat room, someone gets their little female feelings hurt because he's a little male bitch.
I mean, a woman from Canada is now getting deported because she decided to assault a kid wearing an America 250 shirt and a MAGA hat. And now she's going to get herself deported because her boyfriend, who is an American citizen, her husband, was dumb enough to put up a video of her assault on the internet. That's not, again, a right wing to a left wing attack. That is a left wing to a right wing attack. And I remember in New Hampshire in 2020, when we were at a polling location, a kid was wearing a MAGA hat. And in New Hampshire, they're very organized. They, the very cornered off areas that you stand, Republicans here, Democrats here, on your way into a voting place. And someone walked up and slapped a kid so hard that the kid had to go to the hospital for a concussion because he was wearing a MAGA hat. And he was in the penned off area where he was supposed to be. Again, I'm not hearing as much of that attack from the right to the left right now. And maybe it's not getting covered, but I'm just not hearing it in the news when we're hearing multiple assassination attempts against President Trump and continued violence by the left against those they disagree with. They'll corner people in. If they think that you're somebody in a crowd, they'll try to corner you in and start yelling in your face. That just can't happen in this country. We can all disagree without having to get violent. And on the left right now, there is a case to be made that is absolutely on the rise because we're seeing it every day. And one of those instances, even if I can find another study or you can find another study that might say the numbers are different, that's not the reality that people are seeing right now. And it's certainly not the reality on the right that we're living, because there are threats consistently against people on the right. And Charlie Kirk was assassinated in cold blood, sitting in public trying to argue for more conversation. I have yet to see the same, at this point, happen from right to left. And at this level in this country for political violence. So do I wish we could look a little bigger? Of course. But do I think that this is warranted? Absolutely.
Look, there is a whole lot there that it would take a long time to unpack. I think that obviously, look, people should not be assaulted in the casual slapping way that you're talking about, or certainly should not have more serious acts of violence perpetrated against them. Obviously, that is true. I get back to the point that extreme right-wing violence has for years been a more prevalent problem in this country than left-wing violence. There were attempts made, people shot at the White House during President Obama's tenure, for example. I remember covering his primary campaign when there was notably stronger security in the South as the first really credible black candidate ran for the presidency. So there are all of these issues. I think that political violence is a problem across the board, obviously. I do not trust Stephen Miller to be a person who is going to approach that in anything approximating a fair-minded or noble way.
Well, I don't think we're going to solve your issues with Stephen Miller today, but coming up, controversy after a very low flyover from the Navy's Blue Angels squadron. Stay with us.
Yeah, I don't fuck with Indeed. Indeed is like monsters.com was 25 years ago.
Take control of the itch and athlete's foot. Try Dr. Scholl's Athlete's Foot Cream.
Wait, they got a Trump emoji now? Why they got a Trump emoji making everything expensive? That's funny. That's stupid. I'm sorry, that is funny. That's funny.
That'll waken you up. As a Blue Angels fighter jet flying low over the crowd at the beach in Pensacola, Florida.
Get low, get low.
Wednesday, the jet
to the windows, to the walls,
beach equipment flying,
to the sweat.
Sparking a debate over whether the flyover was reckless.
The Navy squadron described the flyover as being, quote, lower than standard profiles and announced it was investigating the incident. But they ultimately determined that the low pass did not warrant any reprimands. Acting Navy Secretary Hung Kao wrote on X, flight debrief complete, no reprimands.
His name is Hung
no
Kao?
firings, no problem.
Man, that's an awesome ass
the sound of
name.
freedom.
But some people felt that
Hung Kao.
could have gotten people injured.
What's your name?
Worse.
Hung?
Adam Kinzinger, the
Hung
former
Kao.
Republican congressman and
Oh, yeah?
Air Force Lieutenant Colonel, said, quote, this is not safe.
I'm sorry, that's a dope ass name, Hung Kao.
This is too much. And political YouTubers.
Only thing that would fuck it up is if he had a micro penis. Then it'd be like, oh damn,
because
son.
of one of these, and I will reference this tweet. Well, this is an interesting one, not really a partisan issue. I mean, obviously the video is very, very dramatic.
Yeah.
I think obviously that safety is important. You don't want things that are reckless. I am going to be perfectly frank, I don't know enough about aviation at that level to know whether that is dangerous or not. I mean, it's a plane flying extremely fast and extremely low.
Who was flying it, Maverick? Who was in it? But who was in that, Maverick? Like, come on.
Debates about not
The
so
hell?
much Trump as Pete Hegseth, actually, who favors, I would say, these kind of performative moments in a big way, and that irks some people, myself included. But what did you think?
I think Maverick was in that.
Yeah,
It was flying that way.
Did tweet that the flyovers will continue until morale improves. So he doubled down on it. I love a flyover. Like they're great.
Matter of fact, I think I should buy the Top Gun DVD next. I thought I was done with all my 80s,
I personally, I don't know aviation. To your point,
all my
as well.
80s DVD collection,
Too close.
but I think I should get Top
Right,
Gun.
but if there was some catastrophic incident, that plane goes down right on people.
You writing a
Forces
check?
down into water. And
What
that
do you
would
say?
be my ultimate concern. To your point about
Maverick, you
safety.
writing a check
These
that,
are
that your
some of
butt
the
can't
most
carry,
elite
something like that.
flying aviation people in the country. They are exceptional at what they do. They're some of the
I love
best
that movie
in the
though.
world.
Yeah, I think I should get that
holy moly, you
DVD.
couldn't even get me in one of those jets, let alone like do a twirly durly that they do or whatever they call those.
The G-forces.
Yeah, I know.
I
Thank
should,
you. Not
yeah.
today.
After I get off here,
that
I'm gonna go on
I love
eBay.
it. You're fine. You're down the beach and you're like, whoa, Blue Angels, so cool. I mean, I grew up a Buffalo Bills fan when we were a really bad team, and our flyovers didn't happen until we started winning. So I love a good flyover. And it's exciting. It's so our country and our military. Just keep it away.
How'd she injure her hand? She got like a little brace on her hand.
The dangers of it. And the other thing is that there has now been a
She was
number of
aggressively
instances,
giving someone a
not
hand
quite as
job. I mean,
dramatic
like what?
as that one, but there was the issue where was it helicopter pilot?
But then I don't know. That might have been worse for the guy.
Again, I think
Shit
that
all
that was
crooked now.
incorrect. Listen, the United States military is being rebuilt and being invested in, and we want the greatest military capabilities. I love celebrating our military and our veterans. I don't think that we should be flying military helicopters past celebrities' homes, giving them a little flyby saying hello. That's not a military procedure that I think falls in any category.
Right.
Like I said, I do like the flyovers. I think there's some fun in this. I think we can just tighten the field a little bit on it.
Well, and the point is, if one wants to talk about military values or virtues, I mean, the whole idea of the system is premised on discipline and self-discipline and all of that. It's not really clear to me who is giving the permission for these things to happen, because I imagine it's not just a helicopter pilot or a Blue Angels pilot going, well, I'm just going to take it upon myself to fly at
This looks fun.
which looks like 100 feet in the air. Like, that can't be something that they're just deciding. I don't think it can be something that they're just deciding on the spur of the moment. So are there like middle-level people who are saying, yeah, go ahead, there'll be no consequence to that? I guess I don't really like the chaos of it, even though I take the kind of killjoy argument, that people do get a kick out of it, and there are more important things in the world. There are, but it's a little scary. It's a little scary. Yeah.
But it did seem like, listen, the military also did the investigation. They don't think that anybody broke any rules. I'm sure there may not have been a reprimand, but maybe a little, hey friend, let's not, maybe a little higher over the crowd if we're going to be over the crowd, right?
Yeah.
I think there are ways to make this work and hold people accountable. And it's clear, in the read we did for this, it said that we were looking at that this was part of a training that they had already planned over Pensacola Beach, which is great. Let's make sure our fighters are ready to go when they need to. But again, I love it. It's cool. Like, if that flew over me, I would probably duck. It reminds me of a Lindsey Graham clip that I saw on Instagram. God rest the senator's soul. That there was a flyover at the White House of formation of jets, and he looks up and goes, "Hope they're ours." It's just classic Senator Graham. And yeah, I hope those are our jets flying so close to ours.
Well, shit. If they aren't, you're not going to have long to think about it.
The Blue Angels were flying that close, like, they're here. The U.S. is
By the time you think, hey, are those? Well, you're done. You're done, son. Wouldn't have long to worry about it.
You were saying the Hegseth thing about the flyovers will continue until morale improves. Before we're done here, what did you make of his whole testosterone thing? I mean, I find him, frankly, a bit of a sort of juvenile figure, so I don't love that stuff. But what was your reaction?
Yeah, but you're not a manly person.
So I don't understand
You're not manly.
that they should be at, what they do for men, how it can help. So if there is a medical necessity to this, that makes sense. Yeah, of course. Like, if that helps, but also you got to make sure that, if this is a thing that they can adjudicate it if they can't take it or won't take it or have an objection to it, right? There's all that process. I just don't know if this actually serves a general, because it could. I don't know science enough to say this will or won't serve that purpose. But if it does,
yeah, I mean, I think the science on it seems, from what I read,
on top of that, getting back to
to
the troll commenter, why should I care? Like, it's Friday night. Like, what does he think I'm supposed to do on a Friday night to entertain folks? Like,
well, that is genuine. Like, it can lead to increased levels of aggression. There's suggestions
trying to compete with Friday night activities.
To the point, I mean, when
no.
we're discussing testosterone, there's some other issue about will estrogen level things become mandatory for female troops? How does that all
No,
work?
because estrogen does not do the same thing for them that testosterone. You would give the women testosterone too, you fucking idiot. Journalists are the most scientifically and mathematically illiterate people with a college degree, I swear.
And listen, this is a classic Trump Hegseth play. We want strong men in this United States military.
If women are to be stronger, they will also take testosterone as well, not estrogen, dumbass.
I think we can rein it in.
Yeah, I think you could also rein in this constant reference to war fighters, troops or soldiers or airmen, perfectly serviceable term.
Well, but I will say, he has made a big thing, his ethos going in as a decorated combat veteran himself, is that he wants to maintain the warfighter mentality and take a little bit of the softening out of the Pentagon based on other things they were trying to do. So I like warfighter. They are.
Yes,
And
they
they're
are war.
absolutely-
That's what
God bless
people in the military are. They're
I mean,
war
there's nothing
fighters.
better than the
I
fact
like
that
that
we do
term.
have the best,
We should
most
make that.
capable
We should
volunteer
make that the
Army
regular
fighter.
term. War fighter. I like that. Sounds better than service members. Which is a long ass word. Service members.
That does it for us on Rising Live. Look out for more
War
exclusive
fighters is exactly what people in the military are. They're war fighters.
Like, share, and subscribe.
Let's do that. Let's keep that.
So you never miss
I like having a Secretary of Defense or Secretary of War that,
We are now available.
you know, is a manly Secretary of War that actually was a combat veteran and still maintains a high level of physical fitness himself. I like that. Sorry, don't care. Oh, he's juvenile, as opposed to having some little trans person in place of him. Anyway.
Federation is opposing the Union Pacific and Norfolk Southern merger because the rail giants won't say how they'll enhance competition and lower costs.
Trains are the lifeblood of rural economy. You merge the two large ones, you get rid of the competition, somebody's going to pay the price. And I don't want to see it be small rural farmers.
The Union
That doesn't make sense. How are the farmers going to pay the price for the merging of a railroad?
More rail competition and
Bro,
lower
stick to
costs.
farming. That doesn't make sense.
The American Farm Bureau Federation is opposing the Union Pacific and Norfolk Southern merger because the rail giants won't say how they'll enhance competition and lower costs.
Trains are the lifeblood of rural economy. You merge the two large ones, you get rid of the competition, somebody's going to pay the price.
Word.
And I don't want to see it be small rural farmers.
The Union Pacific and Norfolk Southern merger is a raw deal. Farmers and families need more rail competition and lower costs. Real name.
It's got a nice ring to it. Sylvester Stallone. It's like Peter Parker.
Are you delusional? You don't got the looks to be a movie star. Not to mention, you talk like you got rocks in your mouth.
Yeah, I know I don't look like Einstein, but I got a brain. The only way for me to show people is me to have to write a script for myself.
Yeah, so do that. Write a script. And give yourself the best part.
People have always thought he was dumb because he has, like,
You wrote this.
I think Bell's palsy.
This is freaking good. Is that someone like Chuck Bronson, or we could do Eastwood?
Guys, I play rock.
I have no idea what that means.
So the writer wants to be in it as the lead. No, absolutely not. Throw some money at it. 25K. No. Raise the offer. Try 75. You fucking cost, for Christ's sake. Sylvester. No. 175. Go to 200. No?
I'm not getting this up. Not for $1 million. Not for 10.
And it kind of looks like it too. They did good casting here.
Yeah, they did. Because I thought that was that is really good casting. Because I thought that was CGI.
God, he is spitting image. He stands like him. He talks.
I thought it was CGI. He has Sylvester Stallone's mannerisms down.
All right, now if you do this.
His slurred speech.
If you ever fall one day behind schedule,
The meat's frozen solid.
they're gonna kick you to the curb,
You broke your hand.
and they can replace you with a real actor.
How do you know what dude's any good?
Just do the best acting of your life, and everything will be fine.
Well, how far behind schedule are they?
They're not.
This movie is about having to believe in yourself. It's about going the distance. I put my heart.
This is why I watched the trailer earlier, because I knew I was going to play this afterwards.
What I wrote,
So
then what's the
it's a rhythm. It's a method to my madness.
Do you believe in me? Heard that.
Oh,
Wow.
chills.
That's all you say you can box.
How about it?
Let go of the head.
God damn it. You always lie.
That looks good.
Oh,
This
good.
movie-
That's amazing.
Is like the kind of movies I just grew up watching and feeling like they're always going to make
movies like this. Well, you know what? They never make movies like this anymore. About hard work, going for your dream, believing in yourself. Those values have been lost and replaced by shitty values. I'm a victim and I deserve things. I deserve free shit. Fuck you. This is an American story, an American movie, the kind of movie I grew up watching. I saw a lot of movies that were like that. You ever see a movie called Breaking Away? Great sports movie about 4 Indiana kids that were city kids that beat the college kids in a bike race. It's a go for your dream, work hard. That American work ethic has been lost. We have a generation of kids now brainwashed by bullshit foreign invaders. Say whatever it is. Socialist Americans too. Commie motherfuckers that have corrupted our youth. Where movies like this need to be big. These values need to be more in everything. That's America. That story of Stallone. The freaking Grace Randolph wrote some shitty thing about Finder tweet. So Amazon produced this, right? This is MGM. Correct. Yeah, correct. And it'll be in theaters. It'll be in theaters. I'm gonna see it, and you're absolutely right, Chris. Even like the 70s were a pretty dark era for film. Lots of nihilism going on, but there was a lot of stuff. Even Star Wars is from the perspective of working class and not in the Marxist sense, in the just regular working person, in America, and, going on an adventure. We really miss that. So this looks like a feel-good movie, but it would be misleading not to include the real-life, more complex elements. Well, okay, we're leading up to Rocky. Hollywood didn't totally cave to his demand to play Rocky. He had to give up the rights to the film, which is why producer Irwin Winkler has them. His first wife, Sasha, who the movie says encouraged him to write Rocky himself, ended up divorcing him for cheating on her and spending their money on those affairs. Why does Grace Randolph in every post sounds like someone dumped her and she's talking about an ex?
Because she's projecting.
Yeah.
That's why her hair looks.
That is a terrible. How do you know that's not in there? Yeah, you haven't seen the movie. You saw a trailer, and it's like why the critics did not like Michael, which was also very inspiring. My favorite parts of that Michael movie is when you see his creative process, all the post-it notes of ideas, him just with him alone trying to work stuff out. Being successful is hard. It's hard work. You have to do, what you have to do to succeed? You have to do everything you don't want to do. There's a lot of things I don't like doing. I'll do them anyways to achieve a thing. And we've somehow lost that. And that's what that movie, that's why I'm so angry, because I see so much of our youth now are completely lost. I can't hire anyone at Film Threat. We have
Nature Made. Take charge of your gut health for a good gut day every day.
Oh, hello. I almost didn't see you there, except I totally did, because I'm like you. I see it all, my friends. You already know me from...
Yeah, that's why I wouldn't have you installed in my
My name
house.
is Olga Kretsu. I live and I work in Brooklyn, New York as a special education teacher. I'm a single.
We have about 30 writers from all over the world. They're all older. I can't hire anyone under 30 that is incompetent, lazy, or doesn't quiet quit. They all do it. They're not, that work ethic is gone now. And this generation, like I see what's happening in New York, I see what's happening where I live in LA, and bad shit is afoot. And it's coming everywhere. I have real concerns.
That's what she
And
said.
movies is only one component of that. So I'm fired up today, Gary. Sorry. It's all good. I'm a little fired up. But yeah, this movie we'll see. Will this movie resonate now? Maybe. I hope it does. It resonates with me for sure. I remember seeing Rocky was a phenomenon. You had to see it. It was a phenomenon. Rocky 2 and Rocky 3, those were events. Every movie after was an event.
So I never saw Rocky, but seeing that trailer makes me want to see the Rocky movies.
Yeah, you need to see the Rocky.
But I saw them in a theater. I paid $1 at the Berkeley Theater and saw that movie. I don't know how many times I saw Rocky, but it was, and then by Rocky 3, that movie's so fun.
I love Rocky 3. That's why it's my favorite. Rocky 3 is my favorite.
Rocky 4 is my favorite.
Mr. T.
Well, that's the first one I saw in the movies because that was 1985. I was like,
I watched that trailer about 20 times, and I got teared up a couple times just because it's
8 years old.
That kind of story
7
was the kind of story that
No, I think I was 7.
Some were told really well, like Rocky. Some were not told so well. But that was kind of a type of movie you would see is go for your dream, believe in yourself, work hard. You may or may not succeed. By the way, in the movie Rocky, if you ask people who wins in the movie, they usually give a wrong answer. Rocky loses the fight.
Yep, he loses in the first one. Most people
wins
don't
respect.
remember that.
In the Bad News Bears, they go all the way to this loser team. They lose in the end, but they win respect. And we've got to, people talk about everyone gets a trophy. That is fucked up, kids. You got to learn to lose. You know what? Losing sucks. Getting a failing grade on an exam fucking sucks. The purpose of pain is to teach you a lesson. I'm pretty sure going to prison taught you a lesson. And that pain is something you powered through to become the best version of you, Gary.
I need my pain.
Yeah, pain is good. And we try to shield children from pain. Fuck it. Take the pain. Take all the pain. You'll be better off.
Pause.
Hail Chris.
I agree, but pause.
I don't know. I'm just tired of seeing shit happening in the culture and society and in LA and in California that piss me the fuck off.
Damn. Just tell him how you truly feel.
Please subscribe.
His jazz riffs of songs is dope. I don't know how he does those.
Royal Farms, real fresh, real fast.
I never thought college was my thing.
So I went to work right out of high school. Congress struck another shady backroom deal. This time, they want to bring over 3,000 Chinese driverless vehicles.
Time is ticking down towards the release of Avengers Doomsday, and really with it, all hope for the future of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Because we know that this is a Hail Mary. It's the definition of a Hail Mary. When you have a plan that you've been going through for your universe, trying to build up these characters that...
Today, I'm going to be exposing some of the darkest aspects of the porn industry. And there's one in particular that every man who has ever watched porn really needs.
Hi folks, the Filipino P here, and it's way past time for another episode of Candlelight.
She is a little cutie. It was funny though. I used to follow a guy who used to constantly bash her. She didn't even merit the bashing. Like, he basically said she gave out dubious information. He doesn't always give out. Anyway. Oh.
Build up these characters that no one cares about, and it keeps failing, and you're losing money, and your audience is walking away. And all of a sudden you say, hey guys, change of plans, shift gears, and, eliminate what you were going to do, and instead bring in Robert Downey Jr. to play Dr. Doom with absolutely zero build-up, with zero lead-in, with zero storytelling, linking all these characters together for an ultimate showdown with Doom. It is a Hail Mary. And quite frankly, it's probably one that Marvel needed to attempt. You needed to throw this because the time is ticking down. It's the fourth quarter. You're down by a touchdown, and you need to do something desperately. That's what Doomsday is. And could it work? I guess it could. We're going to see exactly how much nostalgia is still left for someone like Robert Downey Jr., despite him not playing Iron Man. We're going to see how much nostalgia is there for Chris Evans as Steve Rogers, but not as Captain America.
Yeah, that's
And
crazy.
with
They
tickets
don't have the man
about
in a
to go
t-shirt and
on
jeans
sale next
fighting
week,
fighting
certainly the
supervillains.
clock is now ticking on the MCU. And they also released this official Avengers Doomsday cast photo, which a lot of people were shocked to learn that this was a real official release by Marvel.
That
Not
shit
just something
looks
that
like
fans
trash.
made up in
That looks like a
AI.
yeah, that
But
looks like a
this is
fan made
just a small portion of the cast of characters that are
CGI
going to be
poster.
involved in this, between Doom and
I hope they do
Fantastic
step it up.
Four and Black Captain America and the new Falcon.
Look,
Shang-Chi over there.
he always says it with such
You've got
disdain.
your
It's so
X-Men.
funny. I
You've
mean, I
got
agree with him, but it's just
Captain Black
hilarious.
because he's not going to be Captain America. He's just going to be Steve Rogers.
Captain
He's
Black
not gonna
shirt.
be in his costume because heaven forbid you take away the legitimacy of your fake Black Captain America, along with Thor, along with Ant-Man, along with the Thunderbolts or the new Avengers. And ultimately, what a lot of people have been thinking about this movie is it's going to probably be a mess. There are
Yeah, I mean,
characters,
who are
many
the
of which
Avengers
people don't
here?
give two fucks about, and some who you're trying to desperately use to nostalgia bait your
The
audience to
X-Men,
give you a
Fantastic
chance.
Four,
And
and the
it might work.
Thunderbolts.
We're going to see how well it's
None of
gonna
those
work
are the
in terms of
Avengers.
that nostalgia bait to get it in. But when it comes to the story itself, apparently there's a lot of problems right now for Marvel. Rumor, Avengers Doomsday is a complete mess. Major editing problems arise after Marvel filmed without a finished script. According to a new report, Avengers Doomsday has become a mess in post-production after Marvel allegedly began filming without a completed screenplay. While these claims remain unconfirmed, they're notable because they align with public comments already made by members of the cast and Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige himself. If true, they paint a troubling picture of what's supposed to be the MCU's next defining event film. The report comes from Rule of Real, whose editor, Jordan Rumi, claims a longtime source informed him months ago that Avengers Doomsday was already experiencing significant creative problems.
Is it?
According to the
Oh,
report,
shit, it's late.
editors are now struggling to piece the
Yeah, I'm
movie
getting off
together
as soon as
after
this
principal photography
ends.
wrapped. Interestingly, the rumor gained additional attention after entertainment commentator John Campea, who just loves this channel, by the way, claimed he'd heard similar things from one of his own sources. Campea said the Russo brothers are reportedly discovering problems now that they're trying to assemble the finished film. And we knew this was going on. We don't even need, like, confirmed reports. We've heard these already. Like, this is not a new fucking report. They did not have a finished script when this started, and they've done significant reshoots. But this is, in some ways, the Marvel way. This is how they did some of the stuff early on. Even if they didn't have a totally finished script, they go in there and they do the things, and they might fix in the editing or come back and do a couple reshoots. And, you know, when this universe was smaller and still building, those things were able to work. But now that it's gotten so fucking massive, now that there's so many interconnected pieces and characters and story arcs and lore and all these things, you can't fucking just fly by the seat of your pants. It's embarrassing that you could think you would do this. And for me, one of the things I've always struggled with for the idea of Avengers Doomsday in general is even if everything had been smooth sailing for the MCU, even if you hadn't lost a bunch of your audience, even if your movies hadn't been flopping and failing, the very idea of having a cast of between 60 to 80 potential characters, right? Potential stories to juggle and characters to show and all these things, with no build up to this villain. When you did this last second change of direction to shift to Dr. Doom with Robert Downey Jr. Even if you had the best possible scenario to make these things work, to cobble together something and start filming before you even have a totally finished script and really know what you're doing. Even if everything had gone right, it would have been almost impossible to generate a truly great story from this. Could it be nostalgia bait? Sure. Could it make fucking SEALs clap and go, oh my God, it's Captain America? Yeah, sure, maybe. But in terms of a good story, that's going to be really fucking difficult. It's going to be almost impossible. And then you bring in everything else. The fact that you have all these characters that no one gives a fuck about. The Thunderbolts, Shang-Chi, the Wakandans at this point. You have all these characters that no one gives a fuck about, combined with characters that people have a lot of nostalgia for. And you're going to try to put over these characters. You can't try to weave them into plot. It's going to be a fucking mess, in my opinion. And ultimately, I think they've spent so much money on this. I think when it's all said and done, it's going to be over a $700 million production budget. And that's not just an out-of-the-blue number. Back in 2018, 2019, for Infinity War and Endgame, those movies, the budget for each of those movies was over $500 million. When you combine inflation with just the juggernaut numbers in the cast and just the general way that we've been spending a lot more money on these productions in general with all the crews and everything, it's going to be $700 million when it's all said and done. When we get the final tax documents from the UK, that's probably what it's going to be. They're going to lie and they're going to say production budget's 250, 300 million, but just like Infinity War and Endgame came out, they spent over $500 million on those. It's going to be the same thing for this. It might need $2 billion to break even when you factor in marketing and everything. There's a lot riding on this movie. And I think,
to be honest, it probably will hit 2 billion. Well, it's going to hit over $1 billion. I don't know about 2 billion. That depends on the strength of the film itself.
And it sounds like they're having
But by the sheer marketing
because quite frankly,
going into it, it's going to hit $1 billion. I don't know about 2. It needs to hit 2. Shit needs to hit 3, but it's not going to hit 3. Well, I could be wrong. I could be wrong.
Shady backroom deal. This time, they want to bring over 3,000 Chinese.
Anyway, guys, it's late. I'm out. Peace.